Good evening, folks. Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. It is 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, January 28th, 2025, here in City Council Chambers at 401 North Morton Street in lovely Bloomington, Indiana. We also have a Zoom link active with tonight's meeting, and we have a couple members of public maybe on that. So if you are a member of the public on the Zoom link and you need to offer any public comment or have an agenda item that you'll need to get unmuted for, we'll do so at that time. But if you do want to make a public comment, please use the raised hand function or the chat function to let us know for any item that you would like to do so. And otherwise, I will turn it over to Board President Kyla Cox-Deckard for this regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works.
This regular meeting of the Board of Public Works to order on this Tuesday, January 28th of 2025. First up, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board? All right. Next, we have petitions and remonstrances. If anyone would like to make a comment on something that is not on our agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. If you are here in person, you can approach the microphone, and if you are on Zoom, you can use the raised hand function or the chat function to let us know. Hello, if you'll just state your name for us, please.
My name is Monica Dignam. I live at 1203 West 6th Street. I've lived there for 10 years. And in the 10 years I've lived there, the dumpster, which is on the sidewalk at 1103 West Kirkwood, has been in this condition at least 5 times a year. I have 3 copies of this. I have, in all this time, from the beginning, I used U-Report, and it wasn't until last year that I discovered that they always told me that there was not much I could do because this particular dumpster was grandfathered in and didn't require enclosure around it. But I discovered last year that dumpsters are not permitted on the sidewalks, so it was never a legal dumpster in the first place. This picture that you're seeing, this is after 7 days. I was to live with the U-Report until I spoke to Alex Gray. I was sending a U-Report every single day for 10 days. And so I just decided to date them. But if you look at the report, at the U-Reports, you can see that I've made numerous complaints about, and this is, sometimes there's a sofa in there, sometimes mattresses. When it gets in this condition, they start throwing trash around the dumpster, which you can see there, then it blows all over the street. I've tried to deal with Parker Management directly. They've hung up on me more times than I can count, and all I do is say your dumpster is full. I mean, it's not like I'm doing anything. But what I would like to have happen now is for the dumpster to be removed from the sidewalk and put in an enclosure on this property.
Thank you very much for your comments and bringing this to our attention. Yeah, we'll be following up. Mr. Adam Wason will follow up with you once he's had a chance to go out and check it out. But we appreciate you coming to the meeting to let us know.
Well, it's just a complete frustration that it's been all these years. I've called so many people, and really, it wasn't until Angela Van Roy told me that dumpsters are not supposed to be on a sidewalk that I felt like I had any leverage at all. Mm-hmm. Every time I call, it's always the same. This is grandfathered in. And Parker Management is completely and utterly unresponsive. They don't shovel their walks. They don't do anything until you complain. So that's my issue.
Thank you very much.
Maria, let me know. Alex has your contact information.
Yes.
We'll make sure we get that, and we'll work with Housing Neighborhood Development and some others, try to figure out what we can do here.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome,
really
ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Adam, can I just ask, it looks like it's an apartment building. How many units and?
I think it's 8.
8
but they,
units?
Yeah, but Parker Management, they manage all of the houses from, is it 12?
There's two-story brick buildings, and then there's a single story.
Right, a single story right on Pine Street. And they also manage all of the buildings up to Adams. And they never shovel anything unless their complaint.
And the dumpster is on the sidewalk?
Is on the sidewalk at Pine, so it's on the corner. Yeah, it's on Pine, and it's just right at the alley there.
Okay. We will work on this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. If there are any other comments on something that's not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to make those. All right, seeing none. Next up, we have the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have encroachment request for 812 South Morton Street, Resolution 2025-006 Asian Fest, approve balancing change order for Hawthorne Weatherstone Miller Neighborhood Greenway Project, accept public improvements at 220 West Gordon Pike, Wamathai subdivision plat, accept the public improvements at 1213 through 1217 North Madison Street, the Madison Street subdivision, and approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? All right. Do we have any public comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting of January 28th, 2025.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have new business. First under new business is approved change order number 8 for the downtown street maintenance project.
Hello, this is Zach Rogers from the engineering department. This is downtown street maintenance, change order number 8. This project includes asphalt resurfacing, new curb ramp to College Avenue, Walnut Street, 4th Street, and 6th Street. This project was awarded to Milestone Contractors on July 30th, 2024 for a contract amount of $1,997,000, or $1,997,075. The board has previously approved change orders totaling of $106,537.59, which has increased the current authorized contract amount to $2,103,612.59. This change order is requested from parking enforcement to authorize Milestone Contractors to repair damaged parking meter post at 5 downtown locations for additional $2,725. This brings the total contract amount to $2,106,337.59.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
I'm sorry, could you repeat again the total contract amount?
It should be, after the change order,
After the change order.
should be $2,106,337.59. Was it?
But we have the correct one that matches this.
So this should
Not
have been
necessarily
the
in our
one-
packet, but you have a copy of the correct one?
The one I have in the packet is the one that I got from you.
So we had an updated one that was sent out, because there was a couple change orders that were not reflected on this total contract amount when I first submitted this.
Yep,
And I thought we had sent a updated version of this.
okay.
It's was it about $50,000 off?
$2,103,612.59.
Am I looking at an old packet? Let me see. Because I have the $2,055,000.
That was what was in.
Yeah, my packet does show the $2,106,337.59.
Let me download the final packet and see.
It's in the final packet. Yeah.
So I apologize then. Let me make sure I've got the right thing.
Oh, no, you're fine. There was an issue in the first packet.
Kyla, what page are you on for that one?
It is page 57 is the staff report, and then subsequent pages for the rest of the details.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry
Sorry,
about
I
that.
thought I had the final one, and I must have had an older version.
That was the change, that was the final change.
Okay.
All right, any other questions on this item? I was just going to verbalize, we talked about this in the work session, that the repair to the parking meter posts, that was damage that had occurred outside previously to
Yeah.
the work that Milestone was doing. It was not related to Milestone's work.
Correct.
They kindly repaired those
Yeah,
as
so there
part
was
of their
additional
work.
posts that needed repaired that they had found, and while Milestone was out there, went ahead and have them change it.
All right. Any public comments on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve change order number 8 for the downtown street maintenance project.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next is approve LPA consulting contract with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert for preliminary engineering services for the Dunn Street multi-use path project.
With the engineering department. This is a project on North Dunn Street from the bypass north to Clover Lane. The project is expected to install a multi-use path, but will begin with public input and a scoping exercise. For design, we selected Butler, Fairman, and Seifert based on their response to a request for information. The design contract is set at a not-to-exceed amount of $644,297. Staff has reviewed and supports the contract, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions from the board on this item?
Do you have any idea of the sense of the timing of that conceptual scoping exercise? We didn't talk about that yesterday.
Yeah, that will start pretty immediately, so somewhere in the first half of 2025.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any public comments on this item? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the LPA consulting contract with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, Inc. for preliminary engineering services for the Dunn Street multi-use path project.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next is approve license agreement with the trustees of Indiana University for sidewalk construction on North Dunn Street.
So this is a different portion of Dunn Street. This is the east side of Dunn between 17th and 18th. The project would construct a missing link of sidewalk. We've been coordinating with Indiana University throughout the project, and this is a license agreement to actually allow the contractor to get onto IU property in order to perform that work. And the board approved the construction contract for this project back in December. Be happy to answer any questions.
All right, great. Any questions from the board? Any public comments on this item? All right, seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the license agreement with the trustees of Indiana University for sidewalk construction on North Dunn Street.
Second.
I will call the roll. Corone,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next is accept public improvements, 400 West 7th Street, Johnson's Creamery, Plat subdivision.
Hi, Maria McCormick from Engineering. This is a public improvement acceptance for the public improvements that were required as part of a plat subdivision for the Johnson Creamery. So we are accepting a new crosswalk, curb ramp, street tree area with a tree grate into the city's inventory.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this?
Just confirming what we talked about yesterday, that this has been inspected
It has been,
and
yes,
approved.
yes. We inspect everything that before we bring it to you guys.
Great,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, any public comments on this item? All right, is there a motion?
I move that we approve or accept the public improvements at 400 West 7th Street for the Johnson's Creamery Plat subdivision.
Second.
All right, I will call the roll. Corone,
Aye.
Roach,
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next is approved contract with RLH Seal Coating, Inc. for crack sealing project.
Good evening, Adam Wason, Public Works Director. On behalf of Joe Van Dievender, our Director of Street Operations, we'd like to award a contract with RLH Seal Coating, Inc. in the amount of $51,367.50 for a crack sealing project on our asphalt roadways. This will be for about 7.61 miles of crack sealing. So just as I mentioned yesterday, crack sealing is a process to extend the life of our asphalt surfaces by filling in the little cracks that appear with a tar-like substance, and it keeps it from freezing and thawing and creating further issues, and just extends the lifetime of the roadway. So we received quotes from Lentz Paving, Wallace Construction, and RLH, and RLH came in as the low quote at $51,367.50. Question for approval.
Thank you. Questions from the board? All right. Any public comments on this item? All right. Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move that we approve the contract with RLH Seal Coating, Inc. for the crack sealing project.
Second?
All right. I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have approved contract with HFI for 4th Street Garage Skywalk repair.
Good evening.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait,
CE Hughes.
I skipped.
Yep.
Approved contract renewal 2 with CE Hughes for pavement marking.
Yep, this is a renewal number 2 from the March 13th, 2023 Board of Public Works meeting, where we approved CE Hughes as our vendor for long line road striping, and so this is under that contract, the second renewal, and this will be in the amount of $179,440, and we request your approval.
Questions from the board? Any public comments on this item?
No.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the contract renewal number 2 with CE Hughes for pavement marking.
Second?
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next is approved contract with HFI for 4th Street Garage Skywalk repair.
Yes, this is a contract looking to be awarded to HFI in the amount of $20,550 for replacement of the heating units on the skywalk between the 4th Street parking garage and Fountain Square Mall. There's a list of inclusions for this that include cutting the existing duct, furnish and install one 20 kilowatt electric duct heater, as well as another auxiliary heater relay kit, etc. So this will be in coordination with CFC. There should not be a closure of the skywalk during this, other than maybe some intermittent ones, but we'll work with the tenants and others. And so we request your approval.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Any public comments on this item?
None on Zoom.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the contract with HFI for the 4th Street Garage Skywalk repair.
Second?
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have staff reports and other business.
Nothing to report tonight.
Okay. Next, we have approval of claims. Are there any questions from the board on the claims? Are there any public comments on claims?
None on Zoom.
All right, seeing none. Is there a motion on the claims?
I move that we approve claims this evening in the amount of $3,496,348.31.
Second?
All right, I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Roach?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. And seeing as there's nothing else on the agenda, I will call for adjournment.
Aye.